Every employee in every company, every day, arrives at the workplace and they have the same choice. And that choice is, how much effort am I going to put in today? Am I going to go above and beyond, or am I going to do the least amount I can get away with, slide under the radar, and do just enough that I don't get fired? And what's the difference between these two things? What's the difference between above and beyond and I won't get fired today? Well, it's actually a lot. It costs American business $500 billion every single year. Add to that 80% of the American workforce is unhappy and unengaged. Now, I recently wrote a book called Monetize Your Culture, but the original working title was going to be Everything I Needed to Know About Business I Learned Waiting Tables. Now, it never occurred to me 40 years ago that I would be standing here in 2018 talking about these restaurant stories and they would have any relevance in the world of corporate culture. But I worked at many restaurants as I was going to school. The best of them all, Nantucket Lobster Trap. It was the only fresh seafood in all of Phoenix. So it had a dynamite, I guess that's not that surprising. It had a dynamite menu, awesome crew, best waiter gig in town. Now this one night, we were busy, as always, and I noticed on my 4-table station that not only were the checks down, they were all paid. So everybody was just chatting. Now for those of you who've been a server, could this be trouble? Yeah. So I'm thinking, the hostess will watch my back. She won't seat everybody at once. So I go back into the kitchen, do a little side work. I come back out. Sure enough, I have 4 brand new tables. Now, I'm a pretty good waiter, but I can't violate the laws of physics and be in 4 places at the same time. Now it's damage control. I can do the best I can do. Grab the water pitcher, head to the first table. Hi, folks, how you doing? My name's Dennis. I'll be your waiter tonight. Let me tell you about some specials. We have a swordfish just flown in from Block Island. Gonna knock your socks off. And I went through all the specials. So I get to the second table. Same thing. Hi, folks, how you doing? My name's Dennis. And I was going through all the specials. And about halfway through, I heard this behind me. I looked over my shoulder, caught a look. Sure enough, it was the guy at my third table. And he wasn't just looking at me, he was looking everywhere. Because by golly, someone was going to pay attention to him. So I finish and I get to the third table. Hi, folks, how you doing? My name's Dennis. I'll be your waiter tonight. Sorry it took a couple of minutes for me to get here, but I'm here now. We're going to get you going. We're going to have an awesome night. And I got through the specials, albeit with looks of disdain. So I get to the fourth table. And before I can say a word, the fellow there says, hey, Dennis, how you doing? Looks like you're having quite a night. And I laughed, and he said, let me guess. You had your entire station sat at the same time, didn't you? And I said, yeah, I did. He goes, tell you what, by the way, I'm David, this is Eileen. We're here for the long run. We're going to have a nice night. If you can have the cocktail waitress come over, we're going to have a drink, maybe 2. You just go do whatever you need to do to get caught up. And when you have time, come back, see us, tell us the specials, we'll start our night, and that'll be the way we'll do it. Now, one table that night got my absolute above and beyond level of service. Everything that was in my purview as a waiter to give, I gave. Oversized shrimp and crab cocktail. Selected the cut of fish personally and handed it to the chef. A free dessert. I bought them an after-dinner drink. Now, I hope this is a rhetorical question. Who do you think got that level of service? David and Eileen. Okay. But now it begs the question, why would I do that? Did I have a special financial arrangement with them? I mean, was there a bonus above and beyond the tip that I was guaranteed? No. Well, were we friends? Were we family? Did I have some reason to give that above and beyond that level of service? No. Then help me out. Just call it out. Why do you think that I would have chosen, and this is important, I chose to give that level of service to David and Eileen? So help me out. Why? Why did I do that? I say, you liked me. They loved me. There we go. Shut down the phones. We have a winner. I love that. They showed me respect, kindness, consideration, empathy. And because they did that for me, because they looked at my situation where no one else would, they actually sort of abdicated their needs to get dinner to my needs to get caught up. And my gift to them, my reward to them, was an absolutely stunning level of service. Now, there was also a table at night that got my absolutely most mediocre, I won't get fired tonight, but just barely level of service. Who do you think got that? Yeah. So it brings us to this. Why is this story relevant to corporate culture. And it's this, that for the most part, all of us respond the same way. That when we're shown dignity and respect and empathy and trust, we give back our all. We give more than that back. We give above and beyond. Now, a few years ago, I was part of a group called CEO Forum. It was kind of half think tank, half group therapy. A fellow named Jim Myers, he had been CEO of 5, 6 different companies in his career. He started this, and every month, 15 CEOs would get together, and they could talk about things in the context of CEO Forum they couldn't even talk to their own leadership and employees about. It was a very safe place. Now, this one day, I was actually leading a discussion on employee motivation, and there was a CEO, had about 400 employees, manufacturing. And he was lamenting that he had tried many, many ways to motivate his employees. He had tried trips and contests and cash payouts and incentives and recognition. And at the end of the day, he said, yeah, my employees would say, oh, yeah, that was great, thanks. But he saw no appreciable difference in productivity or output or even attitude. Now, I had just told this story about David and Eileen. And our snapper. So I looked at Jim, and I said, Jim, what do you think the difference is between above and beyond and I won't get fired today? Wasn't a setup. He said 70%. He didn't even flinch. I went, seriously, 70%? He said, maybe more. So I turned back to the CEO, and I said, okay, what would happen if tomorrow 400 employees showed up? And they gave you, and I just couldn't say 70%. It was too much. We're going to blow it all the way down to 20%. What would happen if you had hundreds of employees show up and just because they felt like it, give you 20% more effort and productivity? And the wheels were turning. He was thinking, he said, I honestly don't know. It could change my entire business model. It could change my operations model. It would change the way manufacturing works with packaging, works with warehousing, works with distribution. I would have to take a step back and, for all the best reasons, literally evaluate my own business plan. So where we go from here is, what if you, as a leader of a company, could create a culture that was so rich and powerful and kind and respectful that every single employee, every single day, chose to give you their best effort, to go above and beyond their choice, their idea, simply because they feel like it. Your culture is not what you think it is. Your culture is what your employees think it is. This is really important. Now let's go back to Nantucket. It was another super busy night, and I had one of those nightmare tables that every server has had from time to time. I couldn't get anything right for these people. They were unhappy about everything. I mean, the appetizers were too small, and the salads were wilted, and the dinners were cold, and the wine was off. It was everything. So I finally get the check down, get through the night. I go to Bo, our manager. I say, Bo, you might want to go talk to this table. I had a rough night. I couldn't get anything right for these people. They were unhappy about everything. And Bo said, well, how was everything? And I said, Bo, you know we own it when we mess something up. It was stone cold perfect. It was exactly the same product we put on every single table, and people rave about it. And Bo said, really? And then he asked, he wanted to know, tell me about the appetizer. Tell me about the entree. Tell me about the wine. So Bo finally says, okay, I think I got it. So he goes to the table, says, hi, folks, my name's Bo. I'm the manager here, and I understand that the evening did not live up to your expectations. And they went off. Well, Dennis did this, and Dennis did that, and this was wrong, and that was wrong. Bo just listened, and finally said, okay, I think I got it. And he leans down, and he picks up the check. And he said, well, first off, tonight's on me. And he tears the check up with flourish, and they puffed up. They couldn't have felt better about themselves or life. But then Bo said this, but it comes with a condition. Here's the condition. I want you up and out of that booth and out of my restaurant right now and never come back. Now, would you please leave? Now, what did Bo lose and what did Bo gain? He certainly lost those people, didn't he? They're gone. Did he want them? What did he gain? Well, he gained me in the biggest way possible. I was already in the game. It was a great gig. It was a super restaurant to work at. But because Bo believed me trusted me, respected me, honored me. That meant the world to me. There wasn't anything I wouldn't do for Bo. My above and beyond meter pegged in the red. But now we're going to look at that same situation. We're going to tack a different ending on it. So what I want you to think about is how, more often than not, this happens in the corporate world. So I have the exact same night at the table. I have the exact same conversation with Bo. Bo goes to the table, introduces himself. They complain like crazy, only now this is Bo's response. Oh, folks, I am so sorry. We just pride ourselves here at Nantucket that every diner will have a peak experience. Clearly you did not, and I am so sorry about that. So of course, allow me to pick up the check. But may I ask you something? Would you promise me that you'll come back? Promise me you'll try us again. Don't leave here thinking this is the best we can do. And when you do come back, look for me. I will personally make sure you have an amazing night. Now, what did Bo lose and what did Bo gain in this scenario? Well, he certainly gained those people who wouldn't come back for that. What did he lose? Anybody? Me. Gonzo. I am out of there. I am vapor. Now, I'm not going to quit because it's a great job and it's putting me through college. But do I have any commitment to Bo or that restaurant? Geez, no. Of course I don't. I was disrespected. I was even humiliated. So no, there's going to be no above and beyond in my future. I'm going to show up, wait my tables, get my money, go home. And I will do no more than that. Now, keep in mind, this isn't what happened. Bo indeed honored me. He indeed supported me and trusted me. He basically said, Dennis, I appreciate you and I value you more than the 4 people in this booth, and I'm going to show you how much. But what I want you to think about, though, is how many million times, how many tens of millions of times a day does this scenario in the second example happen? And employees are taken out at the knees and they are made to feel disrespected, disregarded, and humiliated. I guarantee you those are employees that will never go above and beyond. This is an age-old adage, been around business forever. I absolutely despise it. The customer is always right. I cannot more fervently or passionately say, no, the customer is not always right. Sometimes the customer is dead wrong. Sometimes you need to fire a customer because you're better off without them, especially if they are abusive and toxic with your employees. A company's greatest asset is not their customer. A company's greatest asset is their employee. I guarantee this is an absolute fact, and it will never change. Now, we're going to finish with a concept that's been big, big, big in the corporate world. Every magazine, every book is writing about it. Do age and generation matter? More specifically, what do we do with millennials and worse yet, Gen Z? There is this fear in the corporate world of this generation that they can't relate to. How do we manage these people? And they're even called irresponsible and untrainable and entitled, and there's all kinds of things said about them. Well, I'm going to address this, and this is the best way that I can do it. I started flying trapeze at 55 years old. Not the typical age someone starts flying trapeze. That's me in the yellow. Now, I am 40 years older than my trapeze team. And yet, we share everything. I mean, our generations are like this. But we share trust and drive and motivation and desire and teamwork at every level. My catcher is 23 years old. I'm 63 years old. And yet, we share everything equally. He encourages and inspires me. I encourage and inspire him. And trust, he trusts I'm not going to come off the bar early and smash into him. I trust when I turn it around on a blind trick that he's going to be there and catch me. I have put 60,000 first-year new hires for Deloitte through training and team building. And I have never, not once, felt a disconnect with them as a result of being different generations. Not once. So my advice to any leader, any company owner who's actually concerned about this, don't sweat it. Simply build and maintain a culture of joy and appreciation and respect And employees of any generation, doesn't matter what they are, we're human beings. They will rise to it and they will give you above and beyond. Absolute fact, companies with happy workforces will outperform every other company by huge margins. Every time, always, without question. So what does having an amazing, positive, supportive culture do? It creates a joyful workplace, makes everybody happy, increases productivity, increases revenue, creates a place employees don't ever want to leave, and it just makes life way more fun, and who in the heck doesn't want that? Thank you very much. I've enjoyed being here.